what people hear versus what you say.
The truth is, we all know communication skills aren't going to work with a narcissist, right? You can lead with vulnerability and respect. You can say all the right words. You can even apologize first. None of it's going to matter because they aren't interested in reciprocating any of it. But here's the change that I'm trying to make. Instead of saying communication doesn't work with a narcissist, what we should be saying is narcissists don't communicate.
First of all, you should not be having a relationship with a narcissist. But the question then is, how do I know someone is a narcissist? Think this way. Narcissists are like vampires. And like vampires, they can't see themselves in the mirror. Meaning, they can't reflect back on the things they do. Don't try to convince a narcissist that they wrong you somehow because they don't care. The second thing that vampires do is that they survive by sucking blood from their victims. A narcissist in your life will drain all the joy of life from you. You are only something to be used by a narcissist. The third thing you can observe to identify a narcissist is that because narcissists cannot see themselves in the mirror, they never grow. So a narcissist that's wronging you today by doing something specific that's draining your life will be doing this 20 years from now. They will not evolve, because to evolve, you have to be able to look at yourself and iterate based on your behavior and the feedback you receive from the world. There is no feedback for vampires because they can't see themselves in the mirror. Use these three things to identify a narcissist. And once you identify them, what you should do, there is only one thing you should give to a narcissist: loneliness. What I'm trying to say is there is no fixing a narcissist. You have to get out, and you have to get out now.
So I was talking to a male friend of mine the other day, and he told me that women don't apologize and women can't be held accountable. I began to really think deeply.
Look, this is my take, my reaction, my opinion, my point of view only. If you look at personality traits, for example, psychometric evaluations we can use, one of my favorite is the Big Five, which is the ocean: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. If you look at the cardinal personality traits, there is an overlap between men and women of about 40 to 60%. Men and women are more the same than different, but there are differences. When we start talking about men are like this and women are like that, it gets complicated, because most of the time what we're talking about is cardinal personality traits that are shared through gender. In the book Never Split the Difference, Chris Voss explains the Albert Mehrabian's model, 73855 of communication, which explains most of the confusion in communication. 73855 stands for 7% of the communication is due to words, 35% for tone of voice, and 55% of body language, gestures. What does that mean? It means that most of our communication doesn't happen based on what we're saying, words, meaning, or anything. Most of the communication happens outside of the domain of verbal communication. I can say the same thing using the same vocabulary and mean completely opposite things. For example, you can come to me and ask for my help, and I can say yes. But I also, you can, like in a different situation, you would come to me and say, can you help me? And I would say like, yes. You see, same vocabulary, different tone of voice, different body language.
Talk to someone who's emotionally immature. Number one, stop being the hero. The idea that you always have to swoop in to save the day, to fix their problems.
The problem with immature people is that they can inflate any bad situation. Every problem they see can be multiplied 10 times fold. They are experts of explaining problems, but unable to propose any solution or be part of the solution. What you have to do with immature people is just this: stop offering solutions they didn't ask for. By doing that, you do two things. First of all, you prevent yourself from being dragged to their chaos, and you allow themselves to grow.